As home to the world's largest markets to trade and clear energy and environmental products, ICE, in collaboration with the Environmental Markets Association, have hosted a roundtable at the NYC to discuss key topics shaping environmental market trading, policy, and sustainable investments. I'm joined now by John Binder, Deputy Commissioner, Climate Change, Air Resources, and Energy at the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. Great to have you on Taking Stock, John.
Thanks for having me. Nice to be here.
So can you break down what Cap and Invest program is exactly and how organizations are really using it to help reduce their emissions?
Sure. So the purpose of any Cap and Invest program, including this one, the New York Cap and Invest program, which we call NYC, is really to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. And it does that in a few ways. First is it sets a limit on greenhouse gas emissions for the overall state. So we will have a limit on the amount of greenhouse gas pollution that can be emitted every year in New York. And that's the cap portion of the program, but there's also an invest portion. And that comes into play because we provide for emission allowances, which are basically limited authorizations to emit 1 ton of greenhouse gas emissions. And so we do that by basically distributing these allowances through auction. That generates revenue. It also creates an economic incentive for companies to reduce their emissions. So that will be creating billions of dollars in revenue for New York State, which will be able to be utilized to further reduce emissions. And it creates a variety of opportunities for companies.
Tell me about the timeline of this program.
We have been going through a process of getting a lot of input from a variety of stakeholders. That includes companies as well as environmental advocates and other kinds of groups that are interested in how this program is going to be designed. So that's been going on for about the past year. Later on this year, we'll be proposing draft regulations, which will have another opportunity for input from the public. And then next year, in 2025, the program will launch. So that's kind of where we are in the process of implementing the program.
And how will climate change impact New York?
Climate change already is impacting New York in a lot of different ways. We, as New Yorkers, are seeing it really every day, whether that's in extreme weather events, flooding, extreme heat, sea level rise. These are things that are happening right now as we speak in New York. The good news is we do have a law in New York called the Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act, which sets us on a track to reduce emissions overall in the level that science tells us is necessary to mitigate the worst effects of climate change. And we're going to be doing that in a variety of ways, including through this NYC program, the Cap and Invest program that we're implementing in New York.
Well, thank you so much, John, for joining me on Taking Stock.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.